Hello, Cruising World. Mick the Suit Guy with you. It's Monday. Monday is Tips Day. And we recently did our 100th Tips video. I'm going to give you a different one as well today. That was like an anti-tips. It was a bit of a disaster. But yeah, did my best. 150 will be better. But I'm going to give you some tips on if you decide to cruise Virgin today. What my best tips would be. So, I did a video. If you look at my channel recently, we did a Virgin cruise. I kind of did a comparison between Virgin and Carnival. It wasn't really a comparison. It was showing you stuff on Virgin so you could compare it yourself to Carnival. I don't think there's a way to straight compare. So just differences that were pretty obvious if you watched the video. Anyway, some tips I could give you if you are going to cruise on Virgin. Number one, when you go to make your booking, and this is the same for most cruise lines except Carnival. Carnival's like the only cruise line that really gives you VIFP offers where you could have 10 different offers under your VIFP number. Most of the others don't do that, if not all the others. You're basically looking for the best offer online. So this tip could apply to Celebrity, Royal, Norwegian, all of those people. It's one offer one day. In Carnival could be 10 offers. So wait till there's a good sale on, would be my number one recommendation, because Virgin does some really good sales. So, if you're not in any rush, wait till one of them comes up. You can get sales where you can get up to $600 on board credit and stuff like that. So that's kind of a tip, a weird one. Also, when you book your cruise with Virgin, be very aware a lot of the stuff is done before the cruise, not once you get on the cruise. Two biggest things about Virgin I think you need to be aware of. Well, you probably will be aware of. Number one, no kids, 18 and up only. And number two, no dining room, restaurants only. And the restaurants only is kind of a big one because what will happen is you'll get notification and you need to make note of these dates. I think it's 45 days before the cruise. You can go in and make your restaurant reservations. Like I think it's 120 days before the cruise. I could be wrong. You can start making shore excursion reservations. And it'll all be done through the app. So you really want to make sure you download that Virgin app. You can probably do it online as well, but the app is really helpful for that. When you do your dining reservations, it needs to be on the app. So download the app as soon as you make the booking. When those days come up, put it in your calendar. Especially the dining reservations, because what will happen is they have 6 main restaurants, right? At dinner, 6 restaurants. At lunch, they got like a Lido deck, but a lot of little dining areas, right? And I've got videos up on my channel that will show you all this. But let's concentrate on the restaurants. They have a steakhouse, Italian, a Mexican, a Korean barbecue. They have what they call the test kitchen, which is kind of like a mini chef's table where you go into this restaurant and there's a 4 or 5 course meal and they give you the main ingredient of each meal, but you don't know what the rest of the meal is. So it's a bit of a potluck, but if you like to be, test yourself, it's great. And then they have one called Razzle Dazzle, which is like a vegetarian, but there's also meat options on there. So, whatever. So what will happen is when you say you're doing most of their cruises out of Miami are 4 and 5 days. They do some 7 days and above. If you do the longer cruises, you can book multiple restaurants. If you do the 5-day, 4-day, which is what most people tend to do, especially on their first Virgin cruise, you only get to book 1 restaurant per cruise. You can go online on board when you get on board and go and wait in line, but you may not get that. But the key is on that 45 days before, make your reservations. If you want the best times, you can go in there and book them and then you're set. Like I said, you can only do the steakhouse once. They have a steakhouse brunch. They have a brunch in the vegetarian, the Razzle Dazzle, and then the Mexican, blah, blah, blah. So if you're on a 5-day cruise, you've got 6 restaurants to choose from. I'm not going to tell you which ones because everybody's different in their tastes, but do it then. Don't leave it till you get on board because your times will be very restricted. Okay, a couple of things to do in advance. Be aware also they don't have a sign and sell card like they have on Carnival. They have a little wristlet that you will use for everything. And they have like phones and they will scan your wristlet with their phone to pay for everything on board. They do not have drink packages, but they do have what they call Sailor Loot or bar tab. You can go on in advance. If you wait till the right time, they often do sales where they'll sell you a $300 bar tab with $100 extra for free. So you know, $400 for $300. Be patient and wait. It will be there. I've never not seen it come up very quickly, very often. So be aware of that. Your sailor loot. So what will happen is your bar tab is for the bar. So we just went on a cruise and we had $300 sailor loot and $300 bar tab, right? The bar tab is just for the bar tab, but once the bar tab runs out, the sailor loot will transfer to that bar tab if you have it too. And they do such good offers, you'll probably end up having both on your cruise. It may only be a $100 bar tab, but you can purchase a $300 with a bonus. You can purchase $100 with a $25 bonus. You can charge $200 with a $50 bonus, or you can book $300 with a $100 bonus. It's up to you. So you can go on and do all these things in advance, but be aware there is not a drink package. Also, when you get on board, there are no gratuities because they're included in the cost of your cruise. So you're not paying tips on each drink. So the price you see, plus tax in port, but the price you see is the price you pay. And the drinks are very reasonable. You're paying Heineken was $6 a can, 12-ounce cans, $7 for most beers. For whatever reason, Heineken was cheapest when we were on board. Even the mixed drinks are not overly expensive. So people think it's an elite cruise line that's going to charge you all this money. It really isn't that bad at all. Now, obviously, there are things they will charge you for, but things like that are not quite so bad. Another tip I'll give you when you go on board, if you want to go to one of the shows, book it as soon as you get on board. Some of those shows you cannot book in advance. Now, I will add, with that hub, you can, with the hub, Carnival hub, it's not the Carnival hub, it's the Virgin. On the Virgin app, you can go in advance and look at the event lineup. They will add a lot when you get on board, but it will give you a rough idea of what's going to happen. And most of the shows, it will show you have to book them on board. My advice, if you want to go to those shows, get in line and book them as soon as you get on board because they will sell out because the show area isn't that big, right? Virgin is much more of a holistic cruise, I like to call it, than an entertainment cruise. They have bands, they have singers, they have one show a night, they have a couple of trivias. In fact, let me look at it. I wrote it down on my phone here one time. It just reminds me. I did a comparison one day of what they actually had. So they had, on one day, this is on one day on the events they had 29 health and wellness classes. They had 25 events you had to pay for. So they do a lot of events, but you got to pay for them, between $25 and $50 odd. They had a slot tournament, was $25. They did a mezcal and tequila tasting that was $55. They do whiskey tastings. They do a lot of things like that, but you have to pay for them. So there was 25 events you could do that you had to pay. They had 22 music shows. That's not different people. That's just like, you know, when you go on Carnival and one person's going to play like 4 sets in a day, that's included in that. They had 7 shopping things. 15 things that you could do for free. That was it in the day. 15. And of those 15, 7 were trivias, 2 were the nightclub, 1 was a dance class. It was an 80s boy band dance class. And I went up there to watch. Nobody showed up. And there were 5 demos, which is like a jewelry, arts, basically more shopping things because they're going to try and sell you stuff at the end. So there isn't a huge amount of things that you can do on that ship that are free. So don't go there expecting it to be a crazy thing like Carnival where you can circle a thing every hour to do on your hub app. You know, there's no comedy club, at least not now. You know, the shows are 1, maybe 2 a night, but it's the same show twice, the same on Carnival. But you got to sign up for it. There's no just walking in because it will sell out. So just be aware of that. It's much more of a relaxing cruise than an on-the-go cruise. We were in bed by 11 o'clock every night on that last cruise, and I never do that. But I will say this, I loved it because I woke up refreshed every morning. I didn't wake up feeling bad like I do on a Carnival cruise. There's no pressure to do a Cheers package. And I spent less on drinks than I would with the Cheers package. You know, So yeah, and be aware of everything that goes on. They have an afternoon tea. It was anywhere between $19 and $36 depending on what you got. Nothing's free. It's all there's a lot of upcharges. There's a poker room if you like playing poker. I don't know how long that will last, but there was a WPT room, and they had different cash tournaments every day. So if you're a poker player, it's a great cruise for you. The casino's not very big, very small, smaller than any Carnival casino I've ever seen, and it was never full. So it's not really a gambling cruise either. Sailor Services is tiny, equivalent to guest services. But like I said, I hope this doesn't come across as negative. It's just very, very different. So I want you to be aware, if you do a Virgin cruise, don't compare it to a Carnival cruise. There's literally nothing the same between the two cruises, right? Everything is different. And that's either a good thing for you or a bad thing for you. I think it's a great thing. We had a couple of slightly bad experiences on the last cruise, and I did explain those on my review of the ship. I think their systems have still got a ways to go to catch up and be caught up with everybody else. They may feel like a new cruise line, it's an upper level cruise line, but I think behind the scenes their systems are still a little bit behind. But it was nothing that ruined the cruise. It was just a bit disappointing because you would have expected more from a cruise line like Virgin. But it was watch my video. I don't want to go on about it again. It was fairly minor. So bottom line is, I cannot recommend Virgin enough. And all their domestic cruises, when I say domestic, I mean leave them from a domestic port, mostly Miami. They do some from San Juan, but it's nearly all Miami right now. They are talking about expanding into other ports. Hopefully they will soon. But they nearly all go to the beach club at Bimini. That is a phenomenal day out. You can use your sign and sail card, which is your wristlet ashore. They provide food ashore, which is amazing. Again, I got videos on my channel about it. So yeah, I really cannot recommend Virgin enough. At least try it for a 4 or 5 day cruise, and see what you think. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention: no announcements. Right, so no cruise director, no announcements, no photographers, and all that good stuff. One thing to be aware of, when you go into a port, most of the time, to let you know you can go ashore, you're going to get a message on the app. There's not going to be an announcement. A lot of little things like that you have to know about. And another thing I forgot about, it is all coming back to me now. I should not do these things from memory, should I? I should prep them more in advance, but that's not my way. When we went to go on the ship, we didn't need to take a boarding pass. It was already recorded. We were already down. We didn't have to get luggage tags. When you get there, the porters will ask you your room number, so make sure you know your room number, and they will literally get a sticker, write your room number on it, and then deliver it to your room. Right? So there's none of that stuff you need to do in advance. When you get off the ship, if you want to check luggage, it's probably buried somewhere in the app, but you have to go to guest services and ask for luggage tags. Again, it goes back to their system not being hugely great. My overall tip on that would simply be this. You're used to a certain way on Carnival. If you're not sure about how does this work on Virgin, just go to guest services, what they call sailor services, and they will work it all out for you. They also have a really cool debarkation thing on there where you can go on and you select the time you want to get off. But I will tell you this, and this is an inside tip I will give you compared to every cruise line that I've been on. That's just the guide, right? If you go on Carnival and you want to get off early and they call muster station A, right? And you're F. If you get off, no one's going to say anything. They're just trying to limit. They hope that people listen and don't all get off at the same time. But if they say muster station A only and you go down and you're muster station F, they're not going to stop you getting off the ship. They're trying to limit the number of people that get off. It's the same thing on Virgin. When we got off, we had a 7:30 time to get off. It was the first time, and it was supposed to be limited. And when we went down there, the line was so long. There was no way all those people were 7:30. Right? There were 7:45s, there were 8s, there were 8:15s. There's no way that line was 7:30. But they didn't check. And it's the same with all cruise lines. So when in doubt, go to sailor services, but apply common sense half the time, and you'll have a great time. And like I said, I cannot recommend Virgin enough. If you have any questions, please, please, please ask me at the end of this. I've done a lot of classes with Virgin. I know a lot about the cruise line. I know a lot about how everything works. They have some really great itineraries ashore. When you're on the cruise, they will offer you a comeback offer, which Carnival don't do anymore. Typically, it's going to be you pay $300. We're going to give you $300 off your next cruise, which is a wash. But they're also going to give you $300 onboard credit, and that will be in addition to whatever offer you get. So this last cruise we did, we had $300 from the offer code because we bought it before. We had $300 from the cruise we booked because we did a special offer. So that's $600 right there. They also gave us a $100 bar tab on each one. So we had $800. Sorry, $100 bar tab. So we had $700. And then they have this really cool thing called Deep Blue Extras. We were lucky enough that they were matching other cruise lines. They don't do that anymore. But we got $100 extra bar tab for that. So we had $900 onboard credit for a 5-day cruise. It's pretty hard to spend that, you know. So if you play it right and you're not paying gratuities, they're all included, it works really well. So use the system, book the right time, and just try it. Give it a shot. If you don't like it, do a 4-day, 5-day cruise. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But I'd be surprised if you don't. We went on a cruise with 8 people. 7 of the 8 people bought the comeback offer. The only people that didn't was us because we get special rates. All my other clients that have gone on Virgin, pretty much to a man or a person, have bought the extra comeback offer. So that tells you a lot about the Virgin way. That's it. I'm going to go on and on and on. I love Virgin. I love Carnival. I love Virgin too. And they are as far apart as you could possibly want to be. Try it, and I can help you book it. Let me know. Subscribe to our little channel here. Hit that little bell if you want to get notifications when these videos come out. If you have any questions about my waffling that didn't make any sense, please email me. I will answer you as soon as I can. And if you have any tips or any cruising traditions you'd like to send me, please send them to me. I do a cruising tip and tradition video every Monday, cabin video every Thursday on Carnival Cabin, and every Saturday I do a video like this. No, this is a tips video. Been a long day. Like a port video or something on Saturdays. With that, thank God. I will see you later, Cruising World. Any questions? Email me anytime. cruisingsuitguy@gmail.com. I promise I'll reply as soon as possible. Want to book a cruise or any type of travel? We are travel agents. Check out our site, elitetravelconnection.com, or email me, mick@elitetravelconnection.com. We are here for you. Finally, subscribe, please. Pretty please. You know you want to. Go on. I won't beg you. Okay, I'm begging. Please. Subscribe. Thank you.